We've got a lot of really interesting races that are coming up in 2018. Lots of Democrats running, some in Democratic districts with Democratic incumbents, some in Republican districts where there's a lot of different Democrats vying to knock off the Republican in that district. So the Democratic Party should be treating all those candidates equally. Now you want to take a guess as to whether they're doing that? Not if you're up against an incumbent. Then, well, you know, this progressive candidate, do we really have to be fair to them? I mean, this is our beloved people in power. No, it doesn't matter that they're already in power. The question is, who do the voters want? Not who do the people in power want. So it should be entirely irrelevant that they are incumbents. So how are they going to punish these progressives that are running against Democratic incumbents? Well, there's something very important called VAN, the Voter Access Network. Let me explain what that is. And the Just Democrats put out a press release about this, and I'm going to quote it. Voter Access Network is a tool used by Democratic candidates to target voter outreach efforts. Generally, campaigns are given access to voter data that has been gathered by previous campaigns at both a national and local level. So that's the way that it is supposed to work. So you've got two Democratic candidates, or 3 or 4 or 5, they're supposed to have the same access to this incredibly important tool for reaching out to voters. Well, that is not how it's working for 3 of the Just Democratic candidates who are challenging incumbents. So JD candidate Anthony Clark is going up against Danny Davis, and he has been blocked. I'm going to give you the details of how they were blocked in a second. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez with a really powerful challenge of Joe Crowley in New York. Joe Crowley is one of the leadership guys in the Democratic Party, so they really, really want to protect him. And Sarah Smith is going up against Adam Smith in Washington, a Democratic representative that is weirdly conservative in the state of Washington. I don't know why you guys put up with that. So let me go one by one through these different issues. So Anthony Clark is running against the incumbent Danny Davis. In his case, well, that one was really simple. They just blocked access to him. They said, we're not going to give you that information at all. So Anthony Clark now stands a far less chance of winning, thanks to the shenanigans of the DNC as usual. Now, for the others, they had to do some level of nuance. So for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they said, oh, sure, we'll give you the voter data. But they removed key voter data from past campaigns and gave her a watered down version. It's not like these guys are going to be caught unawares. Like, would they think that we're new to this thing? The Just Democrats are stacked with people who worked on Bernie Sanders' campaign. They took Bernie Sanders from almost nothing in the polls, 2-3%, up to 46%. I think they know what they're doing. So when they get the voter data and it's old voter data that is not nearly as useful, that is not a trick that is going to slide past them. And the way that they treat progressives as if we're children and don't know how politics works is maddening. By the way, if you want to fight back, justicedemocrats.com/win to finance these guys and to help them and support them, because they do not take corporate money and they do not take PAC money. So that is part of what drives the Democratic establishment crazy about these candidates. They're actual progressives that are uncorrupted. So that leads us to Sarah Smith, which unfortunately is the funniest story. I mean, it's not funny at all because she's an actual progressive who fights super hard to get your priorities. But it's funny in how they denied her. They said, well, sure, you could get access to that important information, but first you need to get approval. You need 2 county party approvals. You need approval from 10 legislative district parties. This is all the establishment, right? There's some great folks in there, but some folks who are not going to want to see the incumbent lose. And then my favorite part, you need to be endorsed by half of the Democratic Party before you can get access. So 51% of the Democratic Party has to, in the state of Washington, has to agree to give her the voter data. That's like winning the election. Like, okay, no problem. You can get access to the voter data to help you win the election right after you win the election. Okay, now it's not the same exact thing because it's Democratic Party officials, but it is a preposterous standard. Well, the establishment will give you access to their data as soon as the establishment agrees with you. How's that for circular reasoning? So number one, this is outrageous and we have to do something about it. And I'm gonna tell you what you can do about it in a second. But I wanna just give you one more quote. It's from Corbin Trent. He's the communication director for Just Democrats. He said, "It's baffling to me. Sanders' presidential race added much needed energy to the party. This slate of 29 inspirational Just Democrats could have had a similar impact, or could have a similar impact, but we are being thwarted at every turn. We fully expected that we'd see resistance from multinational corporations and the billionaire class, but it's a shame that we also have to fight our own damn party." Well, as usual, Just Democrats are fighting back. So they've started a petition, justdemocrats.com/DNC. Very simple concept: end the Democratic Party voter file lockout. By the way, this also happened to Tim Canova when he was running against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. The DNC supported Debbie Wasserman Schultz unfairly against another Democrat in her race. Wow, couldn't have seen that coming. But look, guys, I know that it's predictable. Unfortunately, it is really important and does prevent these candidates from being able to reach you guys, the actual voters. So if we put enough pressure on, we've got to get the DNC, if they're actual Democrats, to treat Democrats equally and fairly. The Republicans are the ones that are supposed to be doing voter suppression, not the Democrats. So it is absolutely outrageous. Go sign the petition right now, justdemocrats.com/DNC. End the Democratic Party voter file lockout and demand that the Democratic Party stop blocking Just Democrats from using the voter contact tools that everyone should have access to. So, and if you care to support these candidates, then go to justdemocrats.com/win. But even if you don't support these candidates, you should support the idea of equal access. That is supposed to be the core of the Democratic Party. If you like this video, you probably like independent media. The best way to support independent media, become a member of the Young Turks. tytnetwork.com/join.